Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Whitney Ward. We are tracking some breaking news for you at this hour. Police in Moses Lake say they have found the body of a woman they had been searching for, Yanira Cedillos. Detectives had been searching for her remains for the last 2.5 months. KREM 2's Mark Hanrahan is live here in the studio with these breaking details. Mark?
Good afternoon, Whitney. This is the break detectives had been hoping for since early March, and that's when police believe Cedillos' ex-boyfriend killed her in her own apartment and then moved her body. It happened the night that Cedillos was celebrating her 30th birthday. The suspect, Juan Gastelum, was arrested a short time later, but police and Cedillos' family had been searching for her ever since. On their Facebook page, Moses Lake Police wrote today that late last week, they received updated cell phone data from the suspect's cell phone, and that data showed his phone was tracked for several minutes on the morning that Cedillos was reported missing. It led them to a remote area in Walla Walla County off of Highway 132 outside of Wallula Junction. That's where police say they found Cedillos' body in a sleeping bag covered with tree limbs and leaves. Well, today an autopsy by the Spokane County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed the body was in fact that of Cedillos. Well, she left behind 3 young children. They're now living with their grandmother, who'd been searching for her daughter since March. As for the suspect, Juan Gastelum, he's facing a murder charge. He remains in jail in Umatilla County, Oregon, awaiting extradition back to Grant County here in Washington. More than 6,000 people have signed a petition which aims to speed that process up. Whitney?
All right, Mark, thank you very much. Another top story at this hour today, baby formula maker Abbott announced production will resume at its largest formula plant in Michigan. And this could certainly help ease the nationwide baby formula shortage we are seeing. But Abbott says even after restarting production there, it could take 6 to 8 weeks before shipments can begin. KREM 2's Janelle Finch is joining us now live to tell us more about how the shortage is affecting our local stores and families. Janelle?
Whitney, if you walk into this Safeway off of Hamilton and Mission, you may be able to find baby formula, but you'll also be limited to only purchasing two items. This rationing is in direct response to the national shortage of baby formula. I spoke with Spokane caretakers and families who are struggling to provide the nutrients their babies need to grow and be healthy. Walking into grocery stores, some Spokane families are finding it difficult to find the baby formula they need. And for some caretakers, an already difficult situation can become even harder when their babies need a certain type of formula. For Alexandria Black, her granddaughter has digestive issues and can only keep down a certain kind of formula. Black says she's traveled to Idaho and contacted friends and family all through the inland Northwest, looking for the right kind of formula. In addition to formula being hard to find, Black says she also struggles with high prices. When she is able to find formula in Idaho, she says she has to pay out of pocket because she's on the WIC nutrition program that only covers Washington State. Black says her granddaughter goes through 3 cans of soy Similac formula every day. To stretch the formula she does have, she says she mixes it with cereal or bananas until she can find more. I went to 4 local grocery stores around Spokane today and was able to find some formula. However, it was fairly picked through and liquid formula was extremely hard to find. When checking grocery stores for formula, you may want to inquire or ask the store management on when they receive shipments to better prepare for formula restocks. Live in Spokane, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
All right, Janelle, helpful information. Thank you very much. So across the nation, people are doing what they can to try and ease that shortage issue for those who are most affected. In Tennessee, a group of mothers has found a way to help an especially vulnerable group of babies by donating breast milk to the Mother's Milk Bank of Tennessee. It's collected and is then going to help prematurely born babies in the NICU in various hospitals across the state.
We like to think that the milk that we're sending for these premature babies is really more than nutrition. It's a medicine. They're getting antibodies, they're getting protection against infections. Then it really helps them to grow and thrive and go home sooner.
Ultimately, an impactful and personal contribution, as experts say human milk can provide better outcomes also for those premature babies. As gas prices soar across the nation, the average price per gallon in Washington has now reached its highest level yet, with an average of $5.03 a gallon. The average price in Washington, again, the highest it's been, according to the American Automobile Association. Fortunately, prices in Spokane, though, haven't changed much in the last week, averaging $4.42 per gallon. Yesterday, now that doesn't mean prices haven't increased in the area. Since this time last year, prices have increased by $1.29. Hey, the good news is it didn't rain today, the sun was shining, and it's actually really warm and beautiful outside. We want to turn our attention straight to the Outdoor Weather Center where we find Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. Hi, Jeremy.
Oh, hey, Whitney. It is an absolutely beautiful afternoon. Too bad it's Monday. Or, as I said when I burst into the newsroom earlier today, TGIM, which is more like it. 64 degrees outside right now with a mix of clouds and sun. It's likely we see a similar day tomorrow as well. So if you like today, good news is we get to do it again. Far from 70 though, mid 60s in Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, and Spokane. Upper 60s in parts of central Washington. You already hit 70 in Moses Lake. A lot of sunshine. Some of the clouds do look a little bit darker, but don't worry, not concerned about any sort of scattered shower activity. In fact, we clear out even more. Tomorrow morning, we'll wake up to a little bit of cloud cover building in. By the morning commute, it's a bit cloudy. By the afternoon, we see more sun. And then as it goes down tomorrow, not too terribly bad. Temperatures go from near 40 in the morning to once again in the mid 60s across much of the inland northwest, but get ready for a much cooler pattern to work its way in. We're talking temps dropping in the days to come as rain returns to the forecast. I'll break it all down for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. Thank you very much. And starting tomorrow, voters in the Idaho primary will elect party nominees for county offices and decide on bond and levy measures. Now, we've put together a voter guide in preparation for tomorrow's election to make sure that you know exactly when and where you can cast your vote. So first, voters are required to present photo ID. Any registered voter who doesn't have a photo ID can instead sign a personal identification affidavit, which is a sworn statement of your identity. If you've moved recently, but more than 30 days before the election, you also have to bring proof of your new address to update your voter registration information if you haven't already. If you have moved less than 30 days before the election, just go to the polling place that is associated with your old address. The polls will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow. And Idaho residents registering to vote are asked to affiliate with one of the state's 4 recognized political parties: Constitution, Democratic, Libertarian, or Republican. Voters may choose to remain unaffiliated, though. The ballot you receive, though, will correspond with your chosen party. Unaffiliated voters will receive a nonpartisan ballot. If you've never chosen a party affiliation, you can choose to affiliate at any time, but if you wish to change parties before tomorrow, well, actually that deadline has passed. If you'd like more information, including how to find your polling center, make sure and visit us online at krem.com. Well, today we learned new details on the South Suspension Bridge closure in Riverfront Park. A routine inspection is needed and will likely take at least a week. Then the Spokane Parks and Recreation Department will decide whether to keep the bridge closed or move forward with repairs. The department is also seeking a $1.5 million, up to $1.5 million in grant money from the state to complete the work on that bridge. The expected work includes a deck replacement, steel repairs, lighting upgrades, and more. Starting tomorrow, the City of Spokane will start installing new single and dual space on-street parking meters in the downtown area. The parking services will be installing new devices in phases 1. They will be doing that May 17th through the 20th, and then phase 2 will take place in June.
They're up to date, first of all. So the old meters that we have right next door here, those were put in place in the late 90s, and we have not updated them since. Benefit is it accepts a lot more different types of payment. They're easier to read.
The goal is to enhance the downtown parking experience. Customers will be able to see the time remaining and get a receipt of any payment on the meter. 2-hour meters are going to be purple, 4-hour meters will be blue, and all-day meters green. Meter rates will stay the same. Temperatures haven't been very high lately, but we are still expecting heat in the coming months, of course. And now a new move by City Council means fines on extra water usage, like the kind you would use to water your lawn or cool down in the front yard. KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez has that story tonight.
So this potential new ordinance from City Council would not affect how much water you use inside your house, but when it comes to watering your lawn, there could be some changes. So a new study found that Spokane residents actually use 97% more water per capita than the rest of the country. That's 202 gallons of water per day on average per person. In the summer, that number jumps by 5 to 6 gallons. So there's 2 different levels of restrictions City Council is considering right now. The first level would just start with summer. It would be every year from June to October. October. This level would ban watering outside grass or plants from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day, and the city would divide into zones, with each zone getting certain days they can and cannot water. Level 2 would kick in if or when the Spokane River drops below 1,000 cubic feet per second. This level would continue the 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. watering ban, and you would only be able to water outside twice a week and only 2 hours on each of those days. This level would also ban washing decks, sidewalks, and patios. So if City Council does pass this new ordinance and you get caught breaking these rules, you could be fined. The first time you break the rule, the city will just send you information about the ordinance, but after that, you'd get an extra charge of $20 on your water bill. Every violation after that, that fine would double. So City Council is voting on this ordinance tonight in their meeting. If they end up passing the ordinance through, it would not start this summer. It would start in June of 2023. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, Crime 2 News.
Well, in other top stories at this hour, the Kootenai Humane Society is saying it is at canine capacity right now after an influx of dogs from Texas, California, and Worley, Idaho, as reported by our news partners, the Coeur d'Alene Press. So the shelter has just over 50 dogs right now, including some from a hoarding situation in Worley. About 20 dogs were discovered after a man had recently been evicted from a property. Even though the shelter is running near capacity, it is still accepting transfers, since that prevents dogs from being put down. In the meantime, KHS is continuing to raise money for its new 20,000 square foot shelter that is under construction. That's just west of the Coeur d'Alene Airport. Still to come tonight, a shooting in Buffalo that left 10 people dead and 3 more injured this weekend is still developing. We have the latest details after the break.